Hello and welcome back for another episode of Firestorm at Home. You are here on our YouTube channel, that's Firestorm Freerunning Acrobatics. Really appreciate your viewership. If you guys are, really digging what we're doing, go ahead and leave us a like or a subscribe or, anything like a comment just even says, hey, good stuff. It's great, helpful. If you're really into it, click the notification bell and watch the videos as they come out. We're releasing videos almost every day. Sunday's the only day that we're not putting out new content currently. So, guys, keep your eyes on the prize being you and your personal level of strength and health and fitness and overall well-being. So, I am going to get started with our parkour lesson today. If you guys couldn't tell, I've got a fun, handy-dandy little lacrosse ball here. Now, lacrosse ball is a super common therapy tool that we use very often, especially in a lot of cool, fun workouts that we do. But there's other stuff that'll work too, like a softball or even a normal baseball. Something as small as a golf ball is probably about the smallest that I would suggest. Some people even have, kids have often like a rubber bouncy super ball. Those are awesome, super awesome. So you can use one of those too, but just please make sure that you're trying to stick to something that's not going to be too, how do I say this, awkward. You don't want something that's going to be super uncomfortable, because I'll end up actually putting the ball here into my armpit at a point today and into the pit in my elbow at a point today. And so having a ball that's a decent size for your body is important. So I like to go with something that's just a slight bit smaller than my fist. So if you've got a smaller fist than I do, then your ball might be slightly smaller than my ball. Lacrosse ball, find maybe a super ball, like a big mega super bouncy ball or something. If you guys don't have one, that's okay. This is just a super helpful thing that we can use. We're going to need any kind of ball though for one of our workouts today. So you will need it for at least one workout, but for some of our extended stretches at the end of class, this bad boy is going to be super helpful. So I'm just going to set that out of the way with the other one. And I'm going to hang out, make sure that my space is all clear. I've moved all my furniture around. There's even slightly an imprint of my chair still left in the floor, a memory of a time once past. So we're going to move past it and into our mobility, getting ready for today's parkour episode 25. Today is all about shoulders. Like we did last time, we did all about knees and hips. Today's going to be all about our shoulders, a little bit about our neck, really making sure that we're taking care of our body. It's important. We'll say if you've been an athlete or you've been at least doing the workouts and following this for as long as you have, then maybe you're like me and your body is starting to feel that, or it's catching up to you. So continuing to push on that is always a good thing that we can do. We're going to continue to push on that. We got plenty of workouts that we're going to go over today, but that extended stretches to make sure that we maintain our body. Because for as much as you work out, you need to stretch that same amount, if not more. And I often am doing a lot of stretching off camera. That's one of the things that you guys just don't really see. So keep that in mind. You guys want to make sure that you take care of yourselves and stretch as much as you can. We're going to go over a bunch of that at the end of the lesson today. But parkour episode 25, shoulders, let's get it started. We're going to take a nice wide stance, strong posture, chin and chest are up. And I'm going to start with that neck roll just like we do in every episode of parkour, or almost every episode. Feel free to go back in all of them, prove me wrong. If I haven't done the neck roll, then I am wrong. Nice. Ooh. Big half circle, making sure that we are constantly maintaining our breathing. Very good stuff. All right, we're going to continue with that neck just a little bit further by taking the ear over to the shoulder here, taking the one hand up opposite that ear to shoulder pinch. That opposite hand's going to go behind our back. That hand that matches that pinch is just ever so slightly going to pull on the head. I'm not even really pulling on the head, I'm more accurately just kind of resting the weight of the hand on the head. To very lightly intensify this side of the neck stretch here. Nice. Deep exhale. Good. Deep inhale. Let's come all the way back up to normal and neutral, and we're going to switch into the opposite side. So arm behind the back, ear to shoulder, light weight, and stretch. Nice, confident breathing, casually breathing. Either way, making sure that you're breathing throughout the whole thing. All right, nice, release. Good stuff. We're gonna go ahead and continue with our shoulders now. We're gonna shrug up, we're gonna hold them in that shrug. So try and make your shoulders touch your ears now. Big lift. I like to use my elbows and my hands and imagine almost like I'm lifting something up, and I pick up. Then I'm gonna hold that for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse pinch. Shoulders go back, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna bring shoulders in front. I like to bring my hands in front, almost like I'm hugging around something very big or very large, like a tree. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go back behind us into that pinch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In that pinch, I even use my elbows, pushing them back towards each other. And then again, big, open, hollowed body. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to go back into that pinch again, just pushing the shoulder blade up and across the back of the rib cage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then trying to glide the rib cage through, shoulder blades out nice and wide. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, back behind us. Big shoulder blade pinch. I want you to imagine that big giant bone, that chunk of bone should be sliding across your rib cage. Good mobility in that point of the body. Big pinch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And big hollow. Push the shoulder blades out. Hold the spine through them. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Good stuff. Note your back and your shoulders, your chest, maybe your neck feeling nice and warm, getting a little bit of a tingly workout sensation. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and reach out our arms into a little T-pose. Maintain that nice wide postured stance. Good tall spine as well. Nice neutral position through the head. A few forward circles. And now I am mindful of my posture. I'm constantly looking back and checking, making sure my arms are in the right place. My hands are level with my shoulders. I have also several reflective surfaces that I use that are very helpful in maintaining that posture. Opposite direction. So please just make sure that you guys are doing what is best for you. I know at this point that burn in your shoulders, your neck is coming, and you guys really want to start letting your hands drop, but don't. Just keep them up, hide the shoulders, and there we go, cactus arms. We're going to do a few lateral arm circles, going cactus arms towards the chest, and down and under and around. Keep that elbow up at the height of the shoulder, at the height of the chest as best as possible. Opposite direction for those lateral arm circles. We were going cactus arms to the chest. Opposite now, chest to cactus arms. Good. Oh yeah, feels nice and warm. Plenty of burn in the back of the shoulders there. And especially if you guys joined us for, I don't know, our strength and conditioning that we did earlier. Boy, that was a rough one. From 12 to 1, we worked on cardio. If you guys missed it, don't worry. It's archived. You can go do your cardio workout after your shoulder stretches if you would like. So, enough about that. Woo, our upper body's taken care of. And it's well taken care of at that. We're going to take that wide stance, keep that nice and wide. I'm actually going to widen it up a little bit more because now I'm moving into my torso twist. Muscular twist, nice tight squeeze. When we get to the maximum of our twist, we're actually going to hold it there for 10 seconds. Now it's a little bit longer than usual, but for us to really focus on our shoulders and back today, we are making a few slight changes if you haven't already noticed. So that nice tight twist, we're going to hold it as twisted as possible for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and untwist. Woo! Feel that across my abs here and way in the back on the opposite side actually. Very nice. Twisting to the opposite side again, that 10-second hold at the max of your twist. Twist in slow, slowly contract all the muscles through the hip, glute. Yeah, we're coming in there through the lower back, right in the middle of the back, into the upper back, and the chest even, a little bit of the shoulders. Get to that maximum of that point of that squeeze in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, and untwist. Oh, so good. We're going to add to that now with a little bit of a momentum twist. For this one, very specifically today, I'm going to ask you to try and lock your hips. Usually we kind of like let our hips turn and twist and move around. But what I'm going to do is squeeze through my glutes to make sure that my hips stay as squeezed forward as possible. And as I twist here, I'm not going to let my hips twist with me. So one of the things that I like to do to help that is I counteractively press into the floor on that leg, on that side that I'm twisting towards. So as I'm coming towards my left leg, I'm really pushing through my left leg and almost even bending my knee a little bit, but not letting my hip turn. Really locking that hip out. Try and keep your legs as straight as possible, but a little bit of locking that hip in place for the sake of the twist is going to be, manageable movement in the knee. So let's go for it with momentum and the locked hips. Nice torso twist. Very good stuff. And now we're going to let the hips twist with us. So we're not just going to keep them planted. We're not going to counter pressure. We are going to kind of keep the ball of our toe pressed firmly and twist through the hip just a little bit. Let's go. Very good stuff. All right, bring those feet in just a little bit. We're gonna do a few more little bits for our hips. Keeping those feet at about hip width. I'm gonna invert my hands and press them firmly into my lower back. Lean my back out and push my hips forward. I don't want you to feel any pinch in your spine. It shouldn't feel like it's compressing as far as you lean back. The goal here is to elongate the spine. So I'm applying pressure above the hip into the lower back. And as I lean back, just trying to make sure I don't let that get too tight. I'm extending my chest up and out, chin up and over. And then in there, one vertebra at a time. Good, I'm gonna come back up, opposite direction, and now do a nice forward fold in towards our pike. You can keep your hands back if you want to or as you need to. I'm going to kind of roll my body into a slight hollow and reach down. And I'm going to go ahead and bring myself back on up. We're going to straddle just a little bit wider than we had before. We're going to do that same series of movements in this nice wide straddle. I'm at about 2.5 of my own shoulder width. So pretty wide for my straddle. And again, inverting the hands, pressing onto the lower back and into the hip, and chin and chest up, elongating the spine. And maintaining balance can be a little bit more tricky here. So if your heels are coming up off the ground, maybe bring yourself in just a little bit. Try and keep yourself planted firm. Big lean, big extension in the spine. Squeeze the glute, keep yourself locked in place. Push the hip forward and breathe. And come back to upright, back down into our forward fold. That big straddle now. You can go hands down to the floor if you're that flexible, great. If you're still getting there, you need some extra weight, you need to contain yourself a little bit while we make this move. One of the things I like to do is actually kind of cross my arms together and just wrap my forearms on each other. So they're not going anywhere. And just kind of use those. Bring the chin in. And if you can, walk the feet out a little bit more. Widen the hips a little bit more. And then walk the feet back in. And both feet back out. And both feet back in. And both feet back out. This is so good for the calf and the ankle. And back in. Let's go all the way in until our legs are together. Bring the chest up. Oh yeah, nice. Nice and mobile. And then my muscles are feeling that warmth. They're a little bit active, but not quite warmed up just yet. So we are going to get into those warm-ups. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is a variation on our monkey crawl, where we're not actually on the floor crawling around. It is one hand and the opposite foot pressed open and out in front of us, like so. You can keep that leg bent if you nice bent knee up if you would prefer to. I actually prefer to do that, Sam. I find it more practical for later balance application too. So you guys can keep the hand and the foot out like that, but that's a lot harder to balance, in my opinion, than going knee up and out. And that knee is really helpful when we're doing that monkey crawl movement, driving the knee through. So we're going to go into that position, keep the balance, maintain, and then switch, just like we've done before. And now I'm kind of switching kind of rhythmically, switch, 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 right? You guys go ahead and give it a rest, catch your breath for a second. I want you to find your own pace that you feel comfortable doing that for. We're gonna monkey crawl for quite a while. Again, monkey crawl for quite a while. So, guys, get yourselves ready and make sure that you're breathing. Find your uncomfortable pace. Not jumping around too crazy, too hard. Try and keep your heel off the ground the whole time if you can. Keeping the calf very active. Nice workout for the leg. Ready? And go. Switch, 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 switch. Keep it going. Just a few more. Woo. Opposite reciprocation. What's that? Good question. It's the act of using our opposites, like left hand and right foot, in a unison, in a reciprocating motion. They're following each other. Like if I jump up and I do a safety ball, and they recut, or we're doing our monkey crawl, actual monkey crawl, and we move across, right? So, very good stuff. I feel my heart rate's up. Feel like I'm nice and warm. Sweat's definitely coming. So, we're gonna go get a quick sip of agua. Got mine right here. Guys, make sure you keep yours close. Go get some water and come on back. Excuse me. Promise my Xbox is not So, I'm Coach, Summer's the camera woman, and you are our lovely viewer. Together, our powers combined, we are Captain Fitness. No, alright. I don't think that's Captain Planet copyright, is it? Anyway, we're going to go on ahead and jump right on in there with our arm strengtheners. If you guys have any comments, I did specify in our previous video in our lesson that it's important that we have our community converse with us. So currently I'm doing some parkour stuff. If you have requests for parkour, or if you guys have requests for fitness, for strength, or for stretches specifically, all my shoulders really hurting, can we do some shoulder stretches? That's what today is. So guys, let us know.
Just a comment, but Coach Aaron heard the Xbox turn on.
See, look, it's not cough powered, and you can see that it clicked on, and it just happens sometimes. I think my neighbors have an Xbox. When, they turn theirs on, and mine's just like sick. We're awake now. Anyway, we're gonna ignore it and move on into our workouts. Super cool. So, I have nothing in my way. I'm chilling here. I'm gonna go on ahead and start with some push-ups. Like I said, we're gonna work out the shoulders and the chest, the upper back a little bit as well. So that way, when we go into those stretches, those muscles being active, having driven a lot of blood through there, and being a little exhausted as well, perfect condition to stretch. So, get down nice and low for a normal set of push-ups where your hands are about shoulder width. If you need to, you can feel free to use elevation for your hands. I do try to avoid doing knee push-ups, so I try to avoid putting my knees down at all costs. But if you guys are familiar with doing knee push-ups, that is not wrong. It's okay. You can just probably put a cushion, like a pillow, under your knees. That will help to increase your level of comfort and mind the fact that your cartilage will appreciate that later. So we're gonna get down nice and low, normal stance for our push-ups. Hands are ready. I'm on the ground now. And I'm gonna go ahead and try and keep those elbows tucked in, nice and tight as I drop down for those push-ups. And I'm not going too fast. Honestly, my goal here is, again, just to kind of warm up the shoulders and the back and chest. So as I dip down, I'm going to try and dip, almost like I'm bringing my shoulder blades to each other. At the very bottom of that push-up, to really exaggerate that I'm doing that movement. So, again, getting down, and I can even almost lift my hands up off the ground. I love this variation on the push-up. I call it a dead stop push-up, because you are dead stopped. And then you pick yourself back up. As long as you're not putting your hands way out here, you're picking your hands straight up on the sides under your shoulder, then I know you're doing a very good job of that shoulder blade pinch and movement in there. So keep those push-ups going, and be mindful that you guys don't have to do the hardest variation being our dead stop push-up. You can do normal push-ups, you can do half reps, you can do elevated hands, you can do knees with a cushion. I want you to find what works for you, get those muscles going so we can stretch them out, so that when we do stuff like laches or Kongs or jump to cat, and we are doing striding precision, arm swings, flips, round offs, cartwheels, dive rolls. Your shoulders do a lot, your back does a lot. Take care of it, work it out, right? So, get in there. So, just a few push-ups, like I said, with our hands in that normal range, about under your shoulders. Now, we're going to go ahead and switch it up, continuing with the push-ups, but moving into a wide set of push-ups. So we're now activating a different part of the chest and moving into the armpit almost. So, hands are no longer under our shoulders, but instead, I like to go just slightly outside of that. If I lay down and I put my elbows out, I like to put my hands about under my elbows. And that's also going to be where I go for my dead stop, if I need to, or as I want to. So when I'm doing my wide set push-up, pretty wide there, and I'm doing my dead stop, wide set push-up. But again, if I were just building up that strength, I could slide on over to the couch, I can go hands on the couch, wide set, and I don't even have to do that dead stop. I can do a wide set and kind of half rep it a little, do a few half reps. But the goal is really just to activate across that width of the chest there. So we're going to do just a few more of those push-ups, that really wide grip, as wide as you feel comfortable. If you can go outside of your elbows a little bit. That's really challenging stuff. Right, so if I'm out here, my elbows there, hands are out here. Now my push-ups are a little bit more challenging. The dead stop's a little easier because I can lift my hands out, but the actual lift, very, very different. And speaking of very different, go ahead and come on out of that for just a moment. We're going to do one more variation on our push-up. I think it's everyone's favorite, diamond push-ups. So these are just basic push-ups. These are just different variations for the hand. Nothing too crazy or fancy like a dive bomb push-up, where the whole push-up form changes. But we're just kind of messing with the hand placement so that we force ourselves to activate different muscle groups. Moving into that diamond set push-up, I'm going to be activating a lot more of the top of the chest now. So it's that clavicle where it connects up to the top of the shoulder here, which is nice. That's important for us stretching later. And I'm also activating a little bit more of my tricep because I'm in that very tight and condensed position. My bicep is definitely in there doing work, but you guys should feel it in your triceps as well, a little bit more than you were before even. So, diamond set push-ups. I like to make that little diamond with my hands here. Keep that body nice and strong. I spread my fingers wide, but I keep that diamond between my pointer finger and my thumb. And I go in. And I can't really dead stop here, but I can drop my chest all the way to my hands. My goal really though is to stop an inch maybe above that. Right. Again, if you need to, make your adjustments. Move for your diamond push-ups to another part of the space that you're in for your workout. If you need a couch or a slightly elevated surface, maybe a pillow for your knees. So, just a few more of those diamond push-ups, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into our next bit. Very good stuff. All right, guys. Now, I did mention that you would need ball, a ball. So I've got here a softball and over there a lacrosse ball. I really wanted a lacrosse ball, but okay. We're gonna actually need one other really cool, really fun little thing. It's gonna be a flat wall. Flat wall space is super helpful. I've got one down low that I'm gonna slide on over and use that ball with. So I'm gonna roll on over. What our goal here is put ourselves close enough to the wall that we can reach the wall with the extension of our arm and just that little bit of the ball. So come on over, everyone. Ta-da! That's the lacrosse ball I wanted. I prefer this one personally because I don't have a very, very large hand. I like the ball that can kind of fit towards the center of my palm a little bit more because this means that it has the ability to roll around the palm just that little bit more. And so that's going to be my goal primarily. I'm going to press my arm to the wall while facing fairly squared into the wall here. I'm too close to the wall here. I'm going to slide back, find my spacing. Still probably a little too close maybe. There we go, good. I'm not trying to shrug my shoulder forward, pushing my shoulder out of place for this. I'm trying to keep my shoulder back in alignment. I'm trying to keep my spine in good posture. I'm not to lean in at the wall to compensate and keep the ball pinned in. I should be at just good length for keeping that in. Now I'm going to do a few circles going one direction. I always, when I keep the hand flexed, tend to feel a bunch of pressure going up the side of the forearm all the way into the elbow. And so if you guys do feel a little bit of strain, that's okay. But if you feel like pain, that's different than discomfort. So please listen to your body and know, be careful. I'm going clockwise for my circles currently, trying to keep that circle at about the height of my chest and shoulder. Mindful of my posture. I can just go in there with my thumb like that, grab and readjust as I need to, because the ball is likely to move around a little awkwardly. Hand's not a perfect shape. Sometimes the wall is also not a perfect flat. And the two factors mean we get a little bit of an awkward roll sometimes. Good, just a little bit longer, and then opposite direction. So we're gonna go on ahead and roll now counterclockwise. Being mindful of that spot where we're at. I like to spot, like physically pick a spot, spot it, and try and roll the ball around it and mind the ball on my hand while I do so. So coach, I'm also feeling this in my shoulder. Correct, you should be. This is an exercise that's similar to your arm circle up here, but up in front of you. This exercise helps us to really work on the front end of the shoulder and the connection between our deltoid and our pec, but also our rotator cuff. So, good stuff. Counterclockwise, a few more rotations. Mindful of your posture. I keep reminding myself to breathe and to sit up tall. That is good stuff to remind yourself, I promise you. Just a few more moments. Good. And good stuff. Nice. That was one arm. I started with my right because it's my dominant. And, well, I'm not Coach Summer. Coach Summer, she does, I think, the tough stuff. She really does. She starts with her non-dominant side more often than not. She's a trooper for it. Now, people like me that start on our dominant side are going to pay for it in the second half. So, again, finding spacing, adjusting. I'm here when I'm shrugged out. So if I'm not shrugged out and I'm back in placement, I should be good. I might want to just sit up just a little bit more. The good part of this is making sure that you have good posture, because, you know, if you guys are doing it wrong, then you're not doing it well. Yeah? So, good posture and a few circles. Now, I'm a lot less articulate with my left hand. I'm a right-handed writer, so making the circles here is a little bit more awkward, and will feel like it's a little bit more exhausting, but ultimately it's really important to train both sides of your body. Not everyone is born ambidextrous or ambidextrous, right? Yeah, that one. So work on it. Make yourself as capable as possible. Just a few more here. We're going to take a brief second of rest. Nice. Good stuff. Alright. So I was going counterclockwise. Now I've got some clockwise circles to do. And then that's going to be pretty much the end of our ball against the wall. We do have a few other things that we're going to do out here with a little bit of help from the ball for stretches and a little bit. But cool, that's enough for a rest. Let's get going on that opposite direction now. Oh man, counterclockwise was so much easier. Oh. You may find that in your focus to make your circles right and well, that you're slouching, maybe you get distracted. Reminder on the posture. That's what this is for you. Yep, you guys got it. Making as many adjustments, you guys may hear it. Whenever I make an adjustment, I do have to make several readjustments every time. That's okay though. So I make that adjustment quick and try not to let it stop me. Very good stuff, guys. Alright, we're going to go on ahead and slide on back over. Keep the balls with us, or within range, and come back away from the wall to give ourselves a little bit more body space now. We are going to stay down nice and low. Okay, guys? This next little bit, we're going to lay down on our side. If you have a pillow, it's always super helpful to have that pillow to kind of like rest your head on. So I'm actually going to go ahead and slide on over real quick, grab myself a pillow, and come right back. So I'm resting on that pillow. Okay, guys? Now I've got my arm bent in this wonderful little 90-degree, just like that. And what I can do is even take the ball, the weight of the ball, and I can lift that up and over, just like that. Now I do have some other things that are a little bit more intense as far as their weight goes. And so I can increase the weight of this pretty substantially. I have my weighted bag, if I'm trying to go real heavy. I also have my kettlebell, if I'm trying to be a little bit more intermediate in the weight. But what I think is probably one of the best things you can do is just a good old canned good. You know, nothing too crazy. They're usually about half a pound. Sometimes you can get a very large canned good, and then get all the way up to like a pound almost. But either way, you can go ahead and grab that canned good while you're laying down, and we're gonna lift it straight up, keeping the elbow in place. You can go past that 90-degree to where there's a little bit of this downward point on the opposite end here. And I'm just resting here because I don't want to cause too much strain on my neck, holding myself up. Just kind of relaxing my upper half. This is not a super fast or sporadic or crazy movement by any means. It's kind of a slow and controlled one. Go at your own moderate pace that you can constantly keep, controlled. I'm not going to drop the can here. My hand's not going to accidentally fall over and hit me in the face. There's lots of stuff that can go wrong very easily. And I'm just comfortable with where I'm at. That's comfortable is an important part of this. We're going to do just a few more reps here. You guys can see I'm almost like a windshield wiper. It's rhythmic and again constant. Just a few more. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We can go ahead and switch over to our opposite side now. Right? Again, kind of resting, kind of relaxing. You don't need the pillow just kind of helps a little bit from this position. Having a nice little square pillow does help me because I like to line up my arms to kind of match the square shape of that pillow. Then grab a hold of your can good and get that pump going. And remember, it's a controlled movement. Not going too crazy here. Not going so fast, oh my goodness, that my arm is bouncing up and around. I'm keeping my elbow pretty firmly planted. Rolling the elbow over mostly. So for those of you that have ever done, laches or bar swing technique, you accidentally hurt or strained your shoulder or your chest. Maybe you've hurt your back, you pulled your back here and you climb up. You jump to a half cat, hand slipped, you felt that jarring in your shoulder a little bit, maybe even your elbow a little bit sometimes too. This sort of movements, these workouts that we're doing here, are little workouts that are helpful for all of that sort of impact, that sort of stuff. One of the other things you can do is just continue to do it, right? But in a low intensity fashion, right? If you're hurting yourself and then you just continue to do it, you're not going to make yourself any better or stronger. It's not going to be good for you in the long run. If you accidentally hurt yourself, you kind of learn from that, you rest a little bit and you tone back, then you can slowly build the strength and the technique up so you can get where you want to get, and you can do it without getting hurt. Right? Okay, just a few more reps. So 3, 2, 1. Nice. So, alright, pillows all done. Canned foods, we can go ahead and put those back in our backpack of goodies. We can keep our weight and our balls out of the way for right now. We are going to go ahead and actually grab a very quick sip of water. So, if you guys need it, like I need it, I know I need it because it's a very hot day. I'm losing fluids here, so I'm going to need to go ahead and put some back in me. You guys, I'm going to get some water, you go ahead and get your own too. Oh, see, I think it's water break. Alright guys, so we're actually going to come back to our space after that water break. I hope you guys got plenty of water. We are going to start the extended shoulder stretches, including some of the use of the ball. I'm actually going to be laying down. I mentioned it in my strength episode. If you had, like, I don't know, made the ability to create like a snow angel, right? That's about as much space as we would need. So if you guys have got that much space, super great. Okay, if you don't, try and make the space. Otherwise, some of this can get a little bit tough, a little bit more challenging. So now I've got plenty of room for myself here. There is one last little bit of workout that we're actually going to do before we do too much of our stretches. And it's another one of those things that help prime us for some more sort of workout. Some more stretches. So I'm going to take my hands floating up above me like I'm in my Superman hole. You can go feet down or feet up. That's totally your preference. I'm going to keep them up. They're going to come around behind me and tuck in back behind my back. And then they're going to go back to in front of me. Just like that. We're going to do 10 reps of that first one just now as an example. Doesn't count. So try not to let your hands hit the floor. Try and keep them floating the whole time. We're going to do these 10 reps. And then we're going to lay out in a nice big old T pose and take a few nice deep breaths. I think you guys are going to love it. So hands are up in front. We're going to go back. And up, 1, back, and up, 2, back, and up, 3, back, and up, 4, back, and up, 5, back, and up, 6, back, and up, 7, back, and up, 8, back, and up, 9, back, and up, 10. Woo! So, I know my shoulders are feeling it. I'm going to go on ahead and lay down that nice big old T pose like I was talking about. Take a few nice deep breaths in here. Through the nose and out the mouth, yeah? Very strong. Try and imagine like you are lifting your body up off the ground with just your lung capacity, just your power and your inhale to expand your torso. Really lift that body. Big deep breath in. And out. And again, in. And out. We're going to do another big deep breath this time. I want you to try and go 5-second long inhale, 7-second long exhale. Okay, guys? So, inhale for 5. It's a nice long one. Control your breathing. Control the rate at which you inhale, and the same for your exhale too. Go for it. All right. So we're going to actually continue to lay on one arm. I'm going to rotate just a little bit. I'm going to continue to lay in this T pose. I'm going to lay on one arm. I'm going to roll my entire body up and over that arm. Just like so. I'm going to try and reach the opposite hand, back of hand to back of hand over there. Right? Super great. I can even take this leg that matches that floating hand, and I can bend that over to increase the stretch on the chest, shoulder, and you may even feel this in the extended bicep of your arm that's on the floor. So, nice, very powerful stretch in there. Very good stuff. We're going to come back down into that neutral T pose. We're going to do that same stretch on the opposite side now. So, try and imagine there's a line that's going straight under and across from hand to shoulders and to hand. And we're going to roll over that line. We're going to fold and reach our hand up and over that line. We can have our leg bent and reach with that leg too. Nice. Good stuff. Come on back into that neutral T pose. Very good. Now we're going to go ahead and bring the hands in, sit ourselves up, push our chest up. Hips are going to stay down. Elongate the spine, chin and chest up. Good stuff. Nice deep breath in through here. And exhale. And if you guys do have comments or questions or any input at all whatsoever, please feel free to share that with us as long as it's appropriate content, as long as it's family friendly. You know what I'm saying, y'all? Good. And from here, we're actually going to twist and hold it one way. And twist to the opposite way. And we're going to come back to neutral in the middle. While we're here, just go ahead and roll your neck out in the back side of your neck. Just continue to relax through the hips, relax through the lower back. Deep breathe. Roll out the neck. Stay strong through your shoulders. Good stuff. And we're going to go ahead and push the hips up. We're going to go into a nice, strong table position now. I'm going to readjust. So our table position, nice and strong, just like so. And we're going to actually take one out of Coach Summers' book. And our goal here is going to be to move our torso in a circular fashion, right? If you've ever had the opportunity to see like a break dancer or a belly dancer even, the way that we isolate certain parts of our body and move them around other parts of our body is really impressive. And can be a very challenging thing to accomplish. So if you guys don't feel like you're getting the right movement out of this, don't be discouraged, okay? We are going to try from our table to push our spine up and then over to one side and down and around, down and underneath it, like we have that little arch in our belly, and then up on the opposite side and around. So if you guys have ever seen like a raffle ticket cage, that is our rib cage, our belly. So it's going to go over sideways and down and around. One of the things I like to do is move through the shoulder and the hip a little bit to try and create that semicircular movement. Good, and we're going to go ahead and do that the opposite direction. And it may look silly, it may feel silly, but when you're done with it, or as you do it, you understand it a little more, and you get to move your spine and your ribs more, your shoulders more, you get more release. The more you do it, the more you understand it. The more silly it'll look. No, the better it'll feel though. All right, so we are now going to move our hips to stay over our knees. Sled the hands out, bring the chest down. We're doing our cat stretch. We're going to stay here for quite a while actually today. Just to really emphasize the stretch on the upper back and the shoulders. So get in there, get comfy, and take, we're going to say 15 nice, long, deep breaths. So get in there and count your breathing. And focus on your breathing while you're there. Make the stretch a afterthought. Focus on the breathing. Very nice. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and walk those back on in. I'm going to sit here. I like to refer to this one. I think we do, they call this, oh my goodness. It's not child's pose.
Which one?
Child's pose is where we're wide hipped.
You can have your knees together and still be in child's pose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. So we're in a knees tucked and knees tight child's pose. So we're just going to stay here, face down, on the knee and on the shin. Just trying to rest. Kind of open up the spine a little bit, elongate the spine. Nice. Go ahead and pick yourself up. We're going to bring our feet down in through the middle and take a seat in our pike stretch. But we are not doing our pike stretch. Instead, we're actually going to continue with our shoulder stretches. Put those hands back behind us. Reverse the hands, reverse fingers. And we're going to slide ourselves away from our hands. I already feel that stretch. You guys see, I'm walking my hips slowly left hip, right hip, left hip, right hip, into the depth of the stretch. Oh yes. How painfully good. That's the trick. Should be slightly uncomfortable, like having to listen to me for an hour of class. Oh, very nice. Deep breathe. Feel the stretch in the elbow and the bicep and the shoulder and the back. And come on out. Oh yeah. Slowly sit yourself on up. We are going to sit crisscross applesauce and kind of roll out our arms a little bit. I like to do the prayer hands to reverse prayer hands, like the back of the hands pressed to each other. And I like to flip them around through there to help stretch out after I've done such a reverse arm stretch. So I press those palms flat to each other, stretch out the wrist, push the thumb into the chest, and point the fingers out, flip the hands over, back of the hands to each other, and thumbs again to the chest. And now here, I try and also push my elbows towards each other, across the front of my body. And then flick back up, to flip and prayer hands. Nice, just like so. Very good stuff. Alright guys, we are going to go ahead and interlock our fingers, roll our wrists out just a little bit, sit up with a nice tall posture, and go ahead. Don't forget to keep breathing. Deep breathing is super helpful. Make sure you roll both directions for your wrist. I've just switched to the opposite direction now. Nice. Keep that tall posture, chin and chest are up. A few deep breaths in here, and we're going to roll our neck out just a little bit more. I'm going to do full circles for my neck rolls, going all the way around one direction, and then I will replicate the same number of circles in the opposite direction. So don't do too many. Mind it, mind your speed, keep count of it, and let's go on ahead. Big tall posture. I'm even grabbing against my knee so I can pull myself up, and full circles, one direction. And opposite direction. Now it's time for me. Don't forget to keep breathing, guys. Stay breathing nice and strong. Just a few more for me. All right. Go ahead and make sure that you're not too dizzy, you're not falling over or anything like that. Keep your posture up nice and strong. We're gonna have chin to our chest, chin to our chest, like we're pushing our chest into a hollow. Bring your chin in, using our grip on our knees to help us. We're trying to stretch out, trying to push our spine back like we did, similar to the start of our mobility. Now while you're in that big open and extended position, pull across the knee. And hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And we're going to go ahead and give ourselves just a couple of hugs. Alternate what arm goes over top. Very good stuff. Yes, we're going to do quite a few more stretches, so I hope you're all ready. If you guys do have questions, please make sure that you leave them in there. And our lovely Coach Summer will make sure that I get those questions as we're stretching. So, we're going to go back into a kneeling position. Hands are out, knees are down. I'm going to point my toes. And from about table, I'm going to reach one hand under, twist my torso, just like so. Now I can use my hand on the floor here to push and keep myself locked while I really slide and reach and try and even push with my shoulder across my body. Just a few more moments. 3, 2, 1. Good. And we're going to go ahead and switch to the opposite arm reach. So back into that table. Hand goes under. Tight grip to push. Use the back of your shoulder against the ground to turn. And go for 10. And 3, 2, 1, and come back through. Nice. Now we are going to lay down nice and flat. Try and keep your shoulder in this next one. Try and keep your shoulder low and in the socket. Not up here so your arm is choking you. But try and keep your arm down a little bit because we're going to lay it across the floor. We're going to lay on top of it while it's underneath our body. So I'm going to go hand across. And I'm going to lay on that arm, trying to keep that shoulder low. I'm going to reach up with my opposite arm, just like this. Just a few more seconds here. So 3, 2, 1. And we're going to switch, come back up. Remember, you're going to be laying that arm all the way across the body here. Trying not to have my shoulder and my arm up here like this. Don't want my shoulder pressed against my chin and my jawline. I want my shoulder down and back and across. Right? And now as I lay out and reach out, I'm almost dropping my armpit onto my elbow here. Right? Nice, just like so. We should be here for 10 seconds like we were on our opposite side. Just a few more moments now. 3, 2, 1, and coming up and out of that. We're actually going to rest here on our forearms with our spine up. Just a slight lift. We're going to lift our chin up. We're going to lift our toes up off the ground. Just get a little bit of curve or a little bit of stretch in your back here. Pushing yourself up. Some of us are more flexible. We can use our hands and we can push up and get our heels and our head to touch. And that's really impressive. You guys go ahead for that big open arch as much as you can. I'm here currently. My back is still a little tight from some previous injuries this week. Good. Go ahead and release. And we are going to lay down now flat on our back with our chest pointed to the ceiling. So, just like so. We're going to finish off with just a few more little bits of spinal twist and stretch. And that's going to be where I leave you guys for the rest of today's parkour lesson. It was lots of stretches at the end, but it is to take care of, like I said, our back and our shoulders and chest today. So you're going to bring that flat back into the ground. I like to bring my knees in like so to curl and make sure my spine is nice and flat. Then from here, with that flattened spine, I'm going to put one leg out and turn my bent knee over that straight leg. Add to that with my arm just a little bit. I can turn, you'll feel the stretch in your hip, you'll feel it in your glute, you'll feel it in your lower back, feel it in your upper back maybe, feel it all over the place. Try not to let your back shoulder come up off the ground. You want to keep that back shoulder down, planted firm. Nice stretch. And let's switch. Bring that knee back into the chest. Lay down the back. I like to tuck in. Readjust. Make sure my spine is nice and flat again. Do have a bit of a ponytail going on, so I'm going to adjust my hair as well. And switch legs. Switch lean. Switch support. Switch grab. Switch pull. Very nice. We're almost done, guys. Hope everyone's feeling very good. I think they got a moderate workout, but then they got some good stretches. Go ahead and release that. Now your back is feeling better than it was before. You guys, we here at Firestorm are really honestly, we're very excited to reopen when we do get a chance to, but we are holding off until we ensure that it's going to be safe and appropriate to do so. There's a lot of risk and potential hazard in the business that we have. And for us to care for all of the children and all of the elderly families and all of ourselves as coaches, for us to care for the people that are in our community, for us to do that the right way, it kind of requires that we stay closed a little bit longer, that we stay at home a little bit longer, that we work out a little bit more to take care of ourselves and occupy some of the boredom and downtime that we may be developing. You guys, I really do genuinely appreciate your viewership and your support. Thank you very much. Coach Aaron, big shout out. Mad support to you, bud. You're always here, hanging out. You supported us from the start, back on the train, and I appreciate it. So, you guys, don't think that it goes unnoticed. When we open back up and I see certain students that I know that were on my live stream that I know we're hanging out, we're working out, maybe they'll get a coach's card. Maybe they'll get a pass on strength one day. Maybe. No promises though. Coach FreeLove loves these workouts. So, guys, thank you very much. We appreciate all of your help and your support. If you want, you can smash that like button, subscribe, you can share videos, you can hit our notification bell, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can even donate to us. We have Firestorm Freerunning at Gmail is our email address for our PayPal. It's the only place that we are currently receiving donations. But that is as of right now. Guys, thank you for all your support. Really, have a wonderful day.